Bonjour. Marc-Olivier, enchanté. Bonjour, Steven.
Marc-Olivier,
enchanté.
Camille.
Nicolas.
Camille.
Nicolas.
Camille.
On va commencer avec une lecture de règlement. Each team has 20 minutes to present its case to the judges. The time of the presentation will be divided. The first 5 minutes of the presentation are considered as being protected, meaning that the judges cannot interrupt the team. The next 10 minutes are non-protected. The beginning of this period will be when I ring the bell. I am right here. When the non-protected period will end, I will ring it again. The judges have the possibility of interrupting the presentation in order to ask questions or clarification on the subject presented at this moment. The judge will have to limit himself to 15 seconds to ask his question. The team has to answer the question, but can then continue its presentation without waiting for the agreement of the judge. The judges cannot ask questions on a subject having already been covered or which has not been presented yet. These questions must be approached during the period of questions at the end of the presentation. The last 5 minutes of the presentation are meant to conclude the presentation and are a shield from questions of the judge. I will show boards showing the remaining time where there will be 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds left, and will make the countdown of the last 10 seconds using my hands. A period of questions of a maximal duration of 5 minutes is assigned to the jury at the end of the presentation. I would like to remind to each judge that it's mandatory to ask at least one question during this period. I will now invite the judges to introduce themselves.
Bonjour, Charles Vaudeville, directeur du trade marketing pour le Québec, pour avancer là-bas.
Hi, Julie Chamberlain, Category Manager for Quebec, Labatt Breweries.
Marc-Olivier Bourgeois, Regional Sales Director pour le Québec.
Nicolas Roger, en charge de la stratégie marketing pour le retail.
David Freeman, Tech Entrepreneur.
Enjoying a beer goes far beyond just the taste of it or going out to pick it up yourself. A huge aspect of it is the social side of it. As generations come and go, one thing has remained. People enjoy grabbing a beer with their friend and having the social of catching up with them and seeing what's new in their life. However, one thing is important to notice that as generations come and go, their tastes and trends are also moving quite quickly. The new millennial age has acquired tastes that we have to account for and that Labatt has to adjust for in order for sales to increase. As a result of this, we've seen that in local locations in Quebec and the urban area, the sales of beer have decreased in the Deputy stores and other convenience stores. Here, as Mosaic Consulting with my colleagues Camille and Camille, we are here to fix this issue. And our goal for you is to increase the sales in the local convenience stores, as well as acquire the branding and the marketing required to be successful with this new consumer trends. As a result of this, we have come up with a strategy that's going to allow you to be successful. But to do so, we came up with some observations first. One of the ones is that, an interesting fact is that the sale for men's beer as the #1 taste has actually decreased over time, and for women, it's been increasing. As a result of this, we have concluded that we can increase the population size for that target audience from 330,000 people locally to 415. And we've also noticed that the ready-to-drink products are increasing in sales. Now, what does this mean for us? Now, the strategy that we're proposing to you is quite simple. We are proposing that you introduce a new brand into your product offering, which is going to be called Label Labatt. And that's going to cater to the female taste people who are going to be acquiring and drinking the product. What this is going to allow you to do is to evolve to the new market taste, drive in-store and out-of-store, which you'll hear about shortly in our marketing plan, as well as promote Labatt products. As a result of this, we've concluded that over 3 years and a national expansion, you will be able to receive a return on investment of 226%.
Donc maintenant, nous allons parler par rapport à notre structure, par rapport à notre compagnie Mosaïque. Nous allons commencer avec le mandat, ensuite les différentes options que nous vous proposons, ensuite notre stratégie. Nous allons faire l'analyse finalement de la situation. Nous allons vous montrer notre implantation qu'on a faite pour votre entreprise et on va finir avec une conclusion. Donc, par rapport à ce qui se passe sur le problème, comme Steven l'a dit précédemment, donc vous avez un avenir vraiment prometteur devant vous. Toutefois, les ventes de bière dans les dépanneurs indépendants, dans les centres, c'est un petit peu un problème que vous avez. Donc, notre mandat, on avait pour objectif d'offrir à votre compagnie finalement une stratégie qui allait augmenter vos ventes et aussi qui allait avoir une belle image de marque et un marketing qui allait vraiment être bon pour les dépanneurs. Et nos indicateurs clés de performance seront vraiment l'augmentation de la part de marché par rapport au INO, qui est vraiment le marché que vous ciblez. Ensuite, le pouvoir de produits, de promouvoir les produits là-bas et finir avec une augmentation des revenus et du trafic en magasin. Donc, les différentes options qui s'offraient à vous, pour votre compagnie, c'était un projet audacieux qui allait rejoindre justement les milléniaux ou une augmentation des ventes, certains centres urbains ou les dépanneurs, donc choisir entre ces différentes locations-là, ou une intégration innovante de différents produits marketing qu'on peut vous offrir.
So now let's look at the strategy that we're proposing for you today. So our strategy is broke down in 3 pillars. The first part is to staying relevant in the changing consumer patterns that we're seeing today. So the main thing that we want to do for that is to launch the La Belle Labatt product, which is a new beer cocktail. It has low calories, it's a bit higher priced. It provides a sense of status to the person who's drinking it. It has a sleek package to go with that. The second part of our strategy is to educate the population on your new products. So the first thing we want to do with this is to have a female ambassador to promote this brand. Second of all, we want to use that female ambassador through a commercial that will be broadcast across Quebec. And then we also want to do an Instagram contest. So we know that millennials are highly active on Instagram mostly and Facebook for getting their news. So we want to launch an Instagram contest. And also we want to use Instagram and Facebook ads and allocate a part of our marketing budget to a pay-per-click scheme. And lastly, we want to use sponsors. So we want to sponsor events, especially women shows and areas where we could really target the women, millennials. And lastly, we want to address this declining trend in dépanneurs revenues and traffic. So in order to do this, we want to partner with a delivering company. So for example, one of the companies that we would suggest is Home Delivery Canada Inc. So what they do is that they deliver beer to your door. So they go to the convenience store or wherever you're purchasing the beer, and they bring it to you. So this would also tap into our sustainable development criteria of having this being responsible when you're drinking. So you don't have to go to the party or while you're drinking, go and get beer and drive. So we're also promoting this safe environment. A few other aspects of our sustainable development initiative is to have an environmental friendly initiative where we would have, in order to reduce waste, you could trade in your empties for a sample of this new beer. So this would be a way to promote the new beer and also an environmental friendly initiative. And in terms of the economy, having this application or this partner which would deliver beer, make it more convenient for millennials that are relatively lazy. If we think about Uber Eats, people order McDonald's even if it's on their street. So making this really convenient with this app will make beer more accessible and generate more economic growth for you. And now let's look at a consumer analysis. So here we have, you've broken down the millennials in 3 categories. So we have the fun lovers, the experience maximizers, and the aspire group. So the main differentiating factor between these 3 groups is that the fun lovers like the regular beer. The experience maximizers really look for like the novelty and the craft beers. And then the aspire group looks for expensive beverages that have that give us a sense of status. So if we look at the aspire group, we see that they have a lot of new trends in that group. So they're really sensitive to health, to the status, they have a high buying power. So this is a really good target that any entrepreneurs would like to adapt to be able to cater to this group. So the key takeaway of this analysis is really that adapting to the changes in millennial behaviors presents an opportunity for you to cater to these young, this young demographic, which is really influenced by celebrities and also very interested in health and status.
So a recent study came out in 2013 that showed some very surprising results. In 2012, just a year before, 54% of males said that beer is their favorite drink and their drink of choice. However, only a year later, that number went down to 51%. Within a year, that dropped 3%. And quite the opposite was true for females. In fact, if you look right here, in 2013, the number was 26% prefer beer as their first choice of drink. But that actually, in 2012 it was 24%, and then in 2013 it increased 2% to 26%. So what does this mean? This means that they are actually increasing, females are increasing the rate that they're buying beer as a drink of choice. And that's something to take in consideration when we are implementing La Belle Labatt as a new drink, a beer cocktail that's going to cater to this market and the evolving trends of our consumers.
So now let's look at the market and we'll drill down to what is a realistic market that you can obtain. So we've looked at the market in Quebec, and 2.2 million Quebecers are millennials. And then we've looked at some statistics on demographics, and 70% of those millennials are in urban areas. So this means that your serviceable available market, so the market that you can potentially attain, is 1.55 million millennials. And then we looked at how many of these millennials are part of the Aspire group, which is about 500,000 millennials. So this is the total serviceable market that you can obtain with our strategy. And then within this 500,000 Aspire group, we've assumed that half of it would be men and half of it would be women. And most of these men are targeted through different brands that you have. And then as Stephen mentioned, 26% of women are now are saying that they prefer beer, and that could grow by an extra 39%, which could increase your potential obtainable market even more. And by tapping into this new trend, you could generate a lot of growth. So the key takeaway here is that by catering to women, you'll be able to hit most of that serviceable, obtainable market.
And finally, we looked at the current products that you're offering as a Labatt Brewery company. And one thing is what we noticed. On the scale of ready mixed drinks and beer, there was quite polar opposites. There was a lot that were in the beer category, and there was a lot that were in the ready mix category. And with the acquisition of other companies such as Mike's Hard Lemonade, we realized that ready mix is already growing, which is good because the consumer trends are going that way. But if you take a look here, there's also a really big gap which is right between the two of them. And this is where we're proposing that the implementation of La Belle Labatt is going to fit that gap. As we said, it's a beer cocktail, a little bit of a beer as well as a little bit of a ready mixed drink. And by implementing this and adding this to your product offerings, you're going to be able to fulfill that hole and be able to provide the consumers with more choice.
Where would you position Bud Light Lime on that chart?
So Bud Light Lime would be similar close to that, but it's also closer to the beer section of it.
So still
it has acquired fruity taste, however we're looking for more of a beer cocktail. So we've broken down the implementation of this strategy into 3 sections over 3 years. The first section we're going to be calling the urban sampling, which is going to be from years 0 to 1. The section metropolitan distribution, which is from years 1 to 2. And finally, from years 2 to 3 is going to be the national distribution. So as you can see in years 0 to 1, the urban sampling, this is going to be taking advantage of the 10% of the convenience stores that we're going to be sampling this new product in the urban locations within Quebec. This means that within this first year, we're going to have to go through the R&D and development of the new product. This is approximately going to take 6 months, and something that's going to be done at an upfront cost that's going to be eliminated as we move on. We'll just see more about the financials. We're going to be launching some of our marketing campaigns, including the anticipation marketing ads. We're going to be finding a female ambassador, which you'll hear about more in the marketing section. We're going to be implementing the returns and reward program of the debonaires, partnering with the delivery systems as well for the debonaires to increase their store sales and increase the demand for beer. The next phase, as you were saying, is a metropolitan distribution. This is from years 1 to 2. Now what this is meaning, this is going to be expanding this product into all the different urban locations within Quebec. This means 100%. We're no longer sampling 10%, we're going to all the different urban locations. With this, we're going to be upping our costs for Instagram and Facebook ads, as we're going to be acquiring more consumers and a larger target audience, as well as we're going to be sponsoring women events. In order to get the exposure out there, we're targeting the women, so we want to go to the conventions as well as different conferences where our target audience is going to be.
Can you give an example of an event that could be sponsored?
Yeah, certainly. So if there's a women in business event that's going on in a large venue here, providing samples at that, or going for you know, a young millennial university event, that might be a great place for you to sample the product too. And finally, the last implementation phase is national expansion. We don't want to just see this product in the local urban areas in Quebec. We believe that this product is going to be a hit around Canada. And as a result, we are proposing that you place this product in the 12 different provinces across Canada as a way to increase your consumer base and as well as expand more sales and revenue for your company.
Donc, nous allons maintenant passer à la partie marketing. Pour ce faire, nous avons 4 moyens qui vont vous offrir vraiment un grand horizon pour votre nouveau produit, d'être vu par le consommateur et donc d'être apprécié. Pour ce faire, vous allez avoir une nouvelle porte-parole, comme on a mentionné précédemment. Aussi, une nouvelle publicité qui va être typiquement pour les femmes. Une nouvelle bouteille, une nouvelle emblème qui va être vraiment unique pour votre entreprise. Et aussi, une nouvelle image médiatique. Donc, commençons avec la nouvelle porte-parole. Au Québec, nous savons très bien que pour gagner le cœur des Québécois, c'est l'humour qu'il faut aller chercher. Mariana Mazza, l'humoriste, est pour nous le meilleur modèle que vous pourriez aller chercher. C'est une femme forte, indépendante, qui sait parler et, comme on dit bien, être humoriste, elle sait propager sa marque. Elle aime la bière, est une femme d'ici, elle aime ses affaires. Donc, nous pensons vraiment à elle a un grand pouvoir aussi sur les milléniaux et aussi sur la catégorie plus jeune aussi. Donc, elle va avoir vraiment une bonne influence positive sur votre compagnie. Elle va vraiment pouvoir bien pousser la marque puis elle est vraiment bien reconnue. Ensuite, nous avons aussi la nouvelle publicité. Avant, les publicités de bière, normalement, les femmes qui y sont figurées sont surtout là pour faire l'attraction de la bière. Donc, ils sont plus un petit peu un objet. C'est des belles femmes un petit peu considérées comme des Barbies, qui présente le produit, qui montre que c'est un party. Toutefois, cette image est un peu dégradante pour la femme. Nous voulons une nouvelle bière qui va représenter la femme du Québec. Pour ce faire, une nouvelle publicité vraiment adressée à celle-ci. Peut-être une femme assise seule au bar, heureuse, indépendante, forte, qui est tellement fière de boire sa propre bière, sa bière faite pour elle. Ça va être vraiment les caractéristiques qu'on va vouloir aller chercher dans l'annonce publicitaire, dans les annonces radio, dans les posters, dans tout ce que vous allez pouvoir, qu'on va pouvoir vous promener comme publicité. Ensuite, une nouvelle bouteille. Nous avons pensé à aller chercher une bouteille qui va être vraiment plus arrondie, donc quelque chose de vraiment plus féminin, qui va vraiment attirer le regard en même temps. Pour les femmes d'ici, votre nouveau slogan. Donc, on est fiers, on est femmes, on est québécoises, on est canadiennes, on vient d'ici, c'est notre bière. Donc, avec la belle Labatt. Donc, vraiment, un poster, on voulait avoir cherché un petit peu le côté rétro, qui est vraiment vintage, très tendance ces temps-ci. On pense vraiment que ça va faire fureur, ça va accrocher l'œil. Les femmes vont vraiment être contentes de la boire. Ensuite, aussi, nous avons parlé d'un concours qui allait être sur les réseaux sociaux. Nous avons pensé que finalement, vous pourriez faire un concours que les personnes devraient mettre, lorsque vous mettez finalement l'annonce de votre publicité, devraient taguer 2, 3, 5 amis. Le concours arrive, ils gagnent une caisse, ça va faire de la promotion. Aussi le concours femmes de bière, donc un petit peu le côté femme de bière, mais on joue avec les mots, avec le hashtag, ça va vraiment aller chercher une grande popularité, avec aussi le hashtag la belle Labatt. Va vraiment aller chercher un grand pouvoir de communication, ça va être drôle, ils vont pouvoir le taguer, vous allez voir une grande dispersion, un grand horizon de votre produit qui va être lancé sur les médias sociaux.
So now let's look at what this means for you financially. So one of the key issues was the revenues for the dépanneurs. So as you've mentioned, we are going to start with 100 stores for our test trial of this initiative of launching La Belle Labatt. So from our total serviceable market that we've looked at in our analysis, we've estimated that the population size that would realistically be buying these beers would be 16,500 people in the first year, and that would increase to 165,000 when we expand to all 1,000 urban stores. And then with the sale price that is a bit higher than the usual sale price for a six-pack and the total estimated annual purchases, we've estimated these revenues for dépanneurs. And now if we look
So
at...
it's 24 six-pack per person?
It's, yes, annually. Yeah, so 2 per month. And these are our financials in terms of Labatt. So knowing that the profit margin was about 25 cents per can previously. And being conservatives, we increased that to 30% because we reduced the package size to 6 packs instead of 24. And with these expenses from our implementation plan, we've estimated a return on investment of 262%.
Donc pour conclure, juste pour clore un petit peu tout ce qu'on vous a donné comme information, nous souhaitions augmenter la part des marchés du milléniaux. Pour ce faire, on a maintenant une augmentation du marché de 80% avec notre stratégie. On voulait aussi promouvoir les produits Labatt avec une augmentation finalement qu'on prévoit de 50% des clics avec tout le marketing qui va être mis avec les hashtags La Belle Labatt. Aussi une augmentation des revenus et du trafic. Comme on a pu le voir avec Camille, le retour sur investissement va être de 262%. Donc pour finir, vous savez, c'est tellement agréable de prendre une bière, de pouvoir fêter ensemble une belle réussite. Puis nous pouvons vous garantir que cette bière en vaut la peine parce que notre stratégie va être vraiment la meilleure pour vous. Merci beaucoup.
So you've talked a bit about the home delivery for the C-store and how it's going to help the traffic for C-store. Would you be able to develop more about what's the link between La Belle Labatt and the C-store and how La Belle Labatt is especially addressing the issue of traffic for C-store?
Yeah, so as the market tastes are changing, the consumers are no longer necessarily going towards the beers as their first choice as we saw previously. And so in order to accommodate for those changes, we have to provide a beer that is more accommodating to the increase in women beer drinkers. And by doing so, we're able to increase the population that is going to be drinking the beers, and as a result, increasing the sales for the dépanneurs or the other convenience stores.
But that would apply to any distribution channel, right?
Correct.
Si on va à la slide de la diapositive numéro 31, au niveau de la nouvelle image médiatique, l'utilisation des médias sociaux, j'ai vu à partir de la stratégie Google Plus puis LinkedIn par rapport à ça. Puis j'étais un peu curieux de quelle utilisation vous allez faire de ces médias sociaux-là qui ne sont pas nécessairement utilisés normalement pour de tels produits.
Il est certain que finalement, avec LinkedIn et Google Plus, c'est sûr que c'est des médias sociaux un petit peu moins fréquentés. Toutefois, LinkedIn prend vraiment, puis Google Plus prend vraiment beaucoup d'ampleur, surtout chez les étudiants et chez finalement les milléniaux qui sont à l'université, on l'utilise fréquemment. Donc on pensait vraiment qu'en pouvant promouvoir justement, puis peut-être justement quand vous allez faire des événements pour les universités, vous allez pouvoir insérer ainsi votre produit dans LinkedIn et faire votre promotion sur ces médias sociaux.
We see a lot of contests on social networks, like share and get a chance to win. How can you drive traffic by just sharing? Because most of the time people just share, but they don't move to the C-store.
Can I answer in French?
Oui, bien sûr.
Donc oui, c'est certain que ça peut être un petit peu complexe avec le concours. Toutefois, ça fait une belle image. Ensuite, le concours va amener aussi à une consommation probablement, donc vous allez donner un produit, un échantillon de produit, ce qui va aussi amener les gens, les Québécois aiment vos produits. Donc le fait d'essayer vos produits vont pouvoir amener à une vente future. Le bouche à oreille va aussi amener ce genre de résultats-là. Donc oui, les gens vont, de plus qu'ils vont entendre parler de votre compagnie, plus que le monde va être au courant que c'est une nouvelle bière, vont vouloir l'essayer par curiosité.
Quels vont être vos top 3 indicateurs de performance au bout de 1 an?
Yes, so our 3 key performance indicators are our decision criteria were the top 3, and then our key indication, our KPIs are to increase the market share. So as we saw with our serviceable market, we're increasing the women's population by 39%, which would increase our entire potential attainable market to over 80%. So that is one of our big KPIs. And then another one is to increase the clicks and the shares on the social media ads that we've mentioned. And this would be to increase that by 50%. So that when people know more and more about the new brand, the new image it has, and it's more and more prominent in social events and meetings and things, then that would increase that traffic. And our last KPI is our return on investment.
So we're more than one brewer in the industry right now. Every year we can say that probably around 100 new products are launched industry-wise. That being said, with the launch of this new product, would you be afraid that it becomes so niche because we're focusing only on C-stores, right? So would you be afraid that it becomes so niche that we don't reach these KPIs?
Merci de votre question. Je veux juste être sûre que j'ai compris totalement. Donc, je voulais savoir si, vu que le marché de la femme est quand même un marché très restreint, si finalement on va être capable d'atteindre nos objectifs d'indication RP.
Oui, surtout étant donné que plusieurs lancements qui se font dans l'industrie au Québec chaque année.
En fait, nous croyons en notre produit parce que nous savons que, étant consommateurs de bière, on n'a pas vraiment une bière qui est représentative, vraiment féminine, qui va vraiment chercher les valeurs cœur des Québécois ou des Canadiens. Donc, on croit vraiment que votre bière, donc la nouvelle bière qu'on va prendre, va oui aller chercher un marché niche. Toutefois, ça va vraiment être, vraiment culturel. Ça va vraiment aller chercher les valeurs typiques, donc vous allez pouvoir répondre facilement à cette demande, puis la demande va juste grandir. Oui, il est écrit avec une femme dessus, mais si la bière est bonne, si une femme consomme de la bière typiquement d'homme, pourquoi un homme ne pourrait pas consommer de la bière typiquement femme?
Merci. C'est la fin de la période de questions. Donc, on va laisser les juges délibérer.